Alright, so it's time for weekly roundup a day later than normal because I have been waiting for the Arc 5 anime to be subbed. It still hasn't been subbed yet for episode 2, which is annoying. I found a Spanish sub, so I don't speak Spanish at all, but I had to watch through it a Japanese show with Spanish subs and then try to understand what was going on as best as I could. Thankfully, it wasn't too difficult to grasp what was going on, so I guess I can talk about it as if I actually knew what was going on, as I would have done had the English sub been out. Still don't know why the English sub isn't out. It's Thursday as of the time that I'm filming, so the episode probably came out on Sunday. It's Thursday and there's still no sub. That's pretty dumb. Sort it out. But yeah, so episode 2. Basically what happened in episode 2 was he beat the champion guy very quickly into the episode, which makes me wonder why they couldn't have just fit it in to the last episode. This was like an extra 2 minutes of footage, really. So he pendulum summons Odd Eye's pendulum dragon and some snake thing and some other snake thing. He just places his hand on the field basically, and the champion is like, what? How did he summon a level 7 without tributing and all the other things? And the guy's like, I don't know, because they've never seen pendulum summoning before apparently. So the guy Yuya does it. I think that's his name. Yeah, Yuya does it, and then of course all the effects happen to allow him to win in that situation. So he uses one of the snakes to swap Battle Guard guy's attack and defense, so it goes from 5k to 11k. Sorry, 5,000 to 11,000. And then uses the other snake's effect to reduce its attack by 600 or something, conveniently placing it at 500. And then he attacks, and the guy tries to use a trap, but Chrono stops that in the pendulum zone, and he tries to use an action magic, but Astro stops that. And then he's like, well, I still have next turn because I only take 2,000 damage. And then Yu-Gi-Oh's like, no, Odd Eye's pendulum dragon doubles the battle damage. And the guy's like, what, double? And then yeah, he loses. So that's great, I guess. Like it's as I was saying last week, the anime always finds a way to make the protagonist win out of nowhere at like exact life point damage and all this sort of stuff, which is fine, but I don't get why they didn't just put that in the last episode, because it wasn't meaningful. It was just a little bit at the start of the episode that didn't really add anything. I guess it keeps the kids excited for the next episode. If you watch the first one and you don't really know what's happened, you're like, oh, what's this? And then you wait until next week. But they didn't either like drag it out or anything. They just ended it there. There was one extra turn. The game lasted 5 turns or something, and they couldn't have just put it in the first episode. It makes no sense. But yeah, then after that happened, everyone's like, yay, you won. And then it goes to a scene with this mysterious man who's like, oh, Yuya, I must check him out. So you're like, oh, well, stuff is gonna get real later on, eventually. And then a bunch of kids show up, and they're like, yeah, we want to see pendulum summon. Like, the whole episode can just be summoned by a bunch of kids going, pendulum, pendulum, constantly. Yeah, I understood that bit. I didn't need the subtitles to understand pendulum constantly. They just kept saying it because they wanted to see the pendulum summons or whatever. The thing is, Yuya doesn't know how pendulum summons work. No one knows how pendulum summons work. So he starts playing against the pink head girl, like Yuza or something. They all start with U. Apparently, it's very confusing. He starts playing against Yuza, the main girl, I guess, and they use they use the matter technology again, um, and they're just playing. And what irritates me about this season is that the the whole action spell card thing. What is up with that? Like, what they find cards in 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 the world that they're just like, well, you see that card over there? I must run and get it before this thing attacks me, so I can use it. But it also has to be the right card. And I'm like, what? It makes no sense. Like, absolutely makes no sense. Um, it's a stupid idea. Honestly, it's a stupid idea, and I don't see why they would decide to put that. Well, like kids in real life are gonna be like, oh, I must find the action cards, or like running around playgrounds and stuff, just like you know, it's so dumb, and it it makes the game worse from a technical standpoint. What, you just stumble across a +1 every turn? It's, it's very very dumb. But of course, Yuya summons Spaz Hippo or something. He's like, he just the hippo. He summons it in attack. He's like, yeah, this says 800 attack. That's gonna be doing a lot. Starts riding around on the hippo. She summons some 1600 beat attacks it. He's like, what's her action spell? I'm like, piss off, man. Honestly, like, what? You go summon, no back row. She attacks, and you're like, yeah, I found a spell. Irritates me. But yeah, Yuya ends up surviving that turn, and everyone's like, "Go on, pendulum, pendulum," and he's like, okay. So he looks at his hand, and there's Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon and Black Magician, Chronomancy. I think that's the black one. Yeah, it would be the black one. So Astro Magician, Chronomancy. Sorry, what? Magician of Chronomancy. I'm just tripping. And Odd Eyes has a pendulum scale of 4, which is pretty bad, and Chrono has a scale of 8. So he places both of them. Now I'm thinking like, cool, he might have some level 5s in his hand, you know. He's gonna be pro, play them, then kill the Pendulum Dragon, let it go to the extra deck, search the level, the Astro, and then do some stuff. No, he's like, he tries to Pendulum Summon a level 3 and a level 2. Of course it doesn't work, and he's like, what's this? And then he's like, oh, I'm trying to remember what happens. Like, he actually says like, oh, I'm trying to remember what happened then. And then rather than remembering the fact that he had Astro and Chronomancy, and be like, well, I'm pretty sure he said in episode 1 as well. I'm pretty sure he said I can pendulum summon monsters whose levels are between 2 and 7, or whose levels are 2 to 7, between 1 and 8. I'm pretty sure he said that. So he knew at that time how it worked, but he didn't look back and think like, well, that one was 1 and that one was 8, and I summoned a 7, so is that how it works? No, his logical deduction of how to pendulum summon is, oh, well, it worked for me when I was in a pinch. He's like, oh, pinch you, must get into a pinch again, right? That's his reasoning. He's like, oh, I'm about to lose, I can pendulum summon. So then of course he leaves the hippo in attack, and he's like, go on, attack me. So then she does some cool stuff, brings out a 2/6 beer and revives the 16, runs over the hippo. He's like, yeah, attack me. And then she attacks him directly for game, and he's like, oh, now I can pendulum summon you. and then of course it doesn't work because he's an idiot. He gets attacked the game, and then he's all sad. He's like, oh, why didn't it work? And then all the kids leave. They're like, oh, he must have cheated or something. I was like, no, he didn't cheat. He's just an idiot. He's just a pleb. He doesn't know what he's doing. And they all leave, and then like a couple kids stay, and they're like, we'll stand by you, Yuya, gambate, and all this nonsense. Ikuzo! And then that's the end of the episode. And the preview for the next episode was like, it ends on a cliffhanger where you see this blonde guy, and he's like, I think they're talking about rare cards. He's like, these cards are rare. I must get them. And then the preview of next episode is like, blonde guy versus Yuya. That's all really. Nothing else is that significant. So, again, like I'm not being unnecessarily harsh, because this is not something that I'd ever expect to be good. So I'm not watching this like, I've heard this is one of the best animes of our time, and I don't really know why this isn't living up to its potential. Like, this isn't ever going to be intellectually stimulating. I watch the Yu-Gi-Oh anime most of the time, and want to just commit seppuku. Like, it's just awful most of the time. The original anime was pretty good. Season 0 was actually good. Like, I really enjoyed Season 0, because firstly it was dark as hell. Like, Season 0 was just crazy, and then also like it wasn't just Yu-Gi-Oh where they implement random rules that make no sense, a la the anime. Like, they bring in their own games, and they were pretty cool. Like, if you watch the episode when he plays the caricature Indian woman, and they start playing Raijin High, I was like, wow, that's a sick game. Like, that's actually a sick game. And I sleeved cards and played Raijin High with my friends. That was awesome. Right, so Season 0 was great. The original series was interesting to watch. 5Ds got good. Like, 5Ds, the first 3 seasons, I was, popcorn in hand, like, nom nom nom, this is great. Season 4 was a bit, am I getting the seasons right? I don't know if numerically I'm getting the seasons right. The Dark Signers arc was very interesting, and then afterwards I didn't really like how they essentially reset everything, but it was pretty interesting as well. That was fine. I didn't watch Zayal, but apparently Zayal had some pretty dark moments, and GX was pretty bad up until the end of Season 3, and Season 4 was pretty good. But, like, yeah, I watch Yu-Gi-Oh anime most of the time, and wonder why I'm alive. why I'm bothering to watch it. It makes me have existential crises, but I enjoy it to some extent. So I didn't come into this thinking it would be great. So I'm not particularly like, what is this outrage? I'm like, yeah, I never expected it to be good. So the fact that it isn't that great doesn't, it doesn't bother me. I accept that I'm watching 20 minutes of just nothing really. But I don't understand why they didn't just have him beat the champion in the first episode. If they spent so much time just talking about random nonsense that they couldn't have fit in like 20 minutes. Sorry, 20 minutes? Sorry, like 2 minutes. They couldn't have fit in 2 minutes to have seen him beat the champion in the first episode. Pendurum Summoner, and then do all the stuff. 5-turn duel they couldn't have fit into the into the first episode. 5 turns. No, they're like 4-turn cliffhanger. It's like, why? Like, what's wrong with you? And this episode was pretty much a filler episode anyway. It didn't add anything. It didn't do anything. But yeah, at least I got a bit better at reading Spanish. Now I'm a wizard of Spanish, thanks to that episode. So thank you, thank you Arc 5 for making me a little bit more Hispanic. um, so yeah, that's Arc 5. Then Naruto 673 came out, and in that we saw Madara confirm that Naruto switched off the 8 gates in Guy. So it wasn't so much that he revived Guy, so much as that he just stopped Guy from dying. And Naruto himself doesn't really know what's going on in terms of that. He's like, well, I have some new powers, cool. So Naruto is just like punches Madara, and then Madara's like, raw, you're strong. And Naruto's like, yeah, I don't know where this power came from, you know? Jokes. I've half this old guy's power. And then Madara's like, oh, so you're gonna beat me? And then and Naruto's like, nah, bruv, we're gonna beat you. And Sasuke shows up. Sasuke's like, and Naruto's like, and they're getting ready. So it's all gonna kick off, and Madara's like, Naruto and Sasuke both display the boons that they obtained from the original stage of the 6 parts. So aside from the marking on their hands, right? So Naruto is like, flame on, because he's like the Human Torch after the Fox thing. Right? He's like, flame on, and he has these the things on his back, the little markings or whatever, and Sasuke has the Rinnegan in one of his eyes, but not just the Rinnegan, like he has the Rinnegan with the Sharingan points. So there are like 9 Sharingan points on top of the Rinnegan, as was shown when you look at flashbacks of the Sage of 6 parts throughout the anime. Like his Rinnegan has the Sharingan points on them, so that's what Sasuke has now. So it's symbolic of the need for teamwork. Can't have all the power in one person. And Madara's like, well, you have the Sage power to Naruto, but you have the Rinnegan to Sasuke. And then he's like, but I have both, so you know, ballin'. Let's see what happens. So you know, it's all kicking off. It's really cool. And now it's like, is it better if all the power rests with one person, or if the power rests, you know, spread out, where everyone shares and works together? And obviously the latter is going to be the case, but you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting philosophical conflict that the manga touches upon. Although I say touches upon because the conclusion of Naruto and Sasuke winning, or not them winning, everyone winning, because I'd guess there wouldn't just be the two of them. Somehow everyone would chip in, like a Spirit Bomb-esque, like, lend me your power, people, and they're all like, okay, sort of thing. So it's inevitable. So to that end, because it's inevitable, I wouldn't say that it explores it in detail, but that would be the best plot twist if Madara won, then you know. But obviously that can't happen. It's impossible. So that's why I say it briefly touches upon it. But still, one of the things I like about Naruto, the deeper nuances in plot and story that that make it more than just fighting and whatnot. But of course the fighting is cool as well. So that's that. And then the other thing, because it is Thursday, yesterday was the Copa del Rey final, and that is awesome. Like, if for those of you who don't know, I'm obsessed with football, so of course I'm going to talk about this. Before the game, I actually called what would happen. So I got very happy afterwards. I said it would be 2-1 Madrid, with Bale to be the standout player, and those who are like, nah, it's there. Follow me if you want to at Harry Gardner. So yeah, but gloating aside, I was very happy that Madrid won because I like Ancelotti. He did a great job at Chelsea, and he's just a good guy in general. I like him. I think that him switching from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 was very, very interesting, and has had a lot of positive influences on Madrid's season. People wondered why he would consent to selling Ozil, the best number 10 in the world at that point. Probably still at this point, I don't know, it's debatable. But why he would accept selling him and keep Di Maria instead, and really just lack that number 10. But it all worked out for the best because he switched to a 4-3-3, and that's done a lot for Madrid. Madrid's still right up there in the title race, 3 points behind Atletico, but they have the superior goal difference. So if Atletico lose and Madrid win, if Atletico lose and Real win, because they're both Madrids, then Real will be right up there. But for the Copa del Rey final, Barca need change, man. They need change, and I don't know whether the manager is the problem. I'm pretty sure that the manager is going to go anyway. I think they're going to scapegoat him for the poor season. But I think the problems run really deep with Barcelona now, because people have figured out the tiki-taka style. You know, it isn't revolutionary like it was 8 years ago or whatever. Like no one is surprised by it anymore. So it's like you need plan Bs. The fact that their only goal came from a header, from a set piece, from their 22-year-old, 23-year-old or whatever centre back, personally I think is very telling for the fact that firstly they need to look towards their youth. Xavi, Iniesta, absolute legends, right? Xavi's 33 now, he's getting on a bit. Alves, one of the most overrated fullbacks I've ever seen, right? But still, even if you think he's the absolute best right back ever, which of course he's not, he's incredibly overrated. Even if you think he's an absolute don, right? He's 30. Puyol is in his 30s. Mascherano's 29. They're getting on a bit. Pinto's like 50, and he's not good anyway. So in Iniesta's I think like 30 or something, 29, 30. So they're getting on, and it isn't good enough really. Like Madrid could have lost, but they could have won by more. You know, Bale's goal that was disallowed should not have been disallowed. No, he didn't really do anything. And Madrid definitely had a few more chances that they squandered on the counter attack. Barca never really had any chances. The chances that they messed up were Neymar's effort that hit the post, which was just unlucky, but I guess that's just how his season has gone. He hasn't been able to kick off. And they probably should have gotten a penalty from Pepe, but Pepe's an idiot anyway. Pepe was at fault for the first goal because he didn't mark Bartra. Like, what are you doing, Pepe? What are you doing? But to be fair, Bartra took the header really well, and Pepe almost gave them a penalty when it was 1-1. So Pepe's an idiot, but we all know that. Madrid don't have as many problems as Barcelona do. And Barcelona, I don't know. I think they rely on Messi too much. Maybe they always have relied on Messi too much, but you can't focus on one player so much. Madrid were missing their star man yesterday. They were missing Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo, the best player in the world, Ronaldo, and they were fine. You know, they didn't look like a team lacking that spark. They didn't look like a team that were missing their star man. They looked like a good team still. Barcelona, um, even with Messi on the pitch, they didn't look like they were flowing as a unit. And part of that was because they relied so much on Messi, who hasn't been up to his normal standards this year. And then they constantly play Neymar on the left. I think a difference between Barcelona and Madrid in terms of who they bought is that Madrid bought Bale. Now Bale could be seen as a replacement to Ronaldo. Both are very similar in terms of how they play. But Bale doesn't play in the same position as Ronaldo. He can play left mid, but he isn't going to play left mid when Ronaldo's there. And that's fair enough. Bale can play in the middle, he can play on the right. So you can have Ronaldo and Bale on the pitch at the same time, and they work coherently together. Messi plays in that false nine position, and that is also where Neymar is best. Neymar is best in his false nine position. He isn't a left winger as much as he is a centre forward. So you buy Neymar, you stick him out wide in a position that isn't necessarily his position, and then the manager is pressured into playing him constantly. Alexis, why was Alexis kept on the bench? And Pedro coming on was a good substitution, but Pedro and Alexis have had really good seasons for Barcelona, and they just don't play. But I don't even think that's the manager's fault necessarily. I think it's different in England than it is in Spain. So for Moyes, there are a lot of similarities between Moyes and the Barcelona manager. I don't know his name. Is it Tata? I don't know. But there are similarities. But I think that the pressure in Spain is a lot more if you're a manager than it is in England. Like if you watch the English punditry, most of them refuse to even acknowledge the possibility that Moyes could get sacked. And if they say, well, should Moyes go? They say, no, of course not. Of course he shouldn't go. And the board always like, yeah, we stick behind our manager. And I don't think it's easy by any stretch to be a manager in England. But sorry, I took just my leg is killing me. I don't think it's easy by any means to be a manager in England, but you get a lot less pressure than you do in Spain. In Spain, the media is very focused around the players rather than the managers. This is why Mourinho had such a bad time there, because the players and the players in the media are like, they're inseparable. You'll get a manager talking to his players, giving them the game plan for tomorrow, and then it will be leaked into the press the next day because the players in the media just gossip to the media. They just spill the beans. They just say everything that's going on, and then it's just the manager has to take the flak for it. So I think there's a lot more pressure in Spain than there is in England, and especially when it comes to someone like Neymar. God knows how much he was signed for, but the fact that he's meant to be both the symbol of the new age of Barcelona, like, yeah, he's gonna be our next big thing, he's gonna be the next Messi, he's our young star, and yet he's placed alongside Messi and is meant to function as someone who supports him at the same time. I don't think it works personally. I don't think that Messi and Neymar work at the same time. I think it's like Zlatan and Cavani, in that, yeah, one might do pretty well. Obviously, Messi's gonna do better because he's in his preferred position, just as Zlatan is gonna do better when he's playing up front. And Cavani might do well at right wing a little bit, just as Neymar might do quite well left wing. I think Neymar's got 9 goals this season in La Liga for Barcelona, which isn't bad, I guess. I mean, for a 106 million pound signing or whatever the signing was revealed to have been worth, that is a bit is a bit lacking, but you know, it isn't bad. And Cavani has like the second most goals in Ligue 1. But you have to take that with a pinch of salt. Ligue 1 is a very monopolistic league in favor of PSG. But Cavani's not happy about playing right wing. He doesn't like it. Likewise, I think that Neymar would prefer to play centre forward than he would to play on the left. I think he'd prefer to operate in that false 9 position than he would being pushed out wide, having to accommodate for Messi. So I think that if you're Barcelona, you have to make a choice. You have to decide whether you want to still rely on Messi, even though he's dipped. Granted, he is one of the best players that the game has ever seen. So if you're going to take that into account, then yeah, that's. Oh no, you have to stick with Messi. Poor Barcelona. Or you focus on Neymar more, but it won't work as well with the two of them together. They need support for each other, and I think placing Iniesta into centre mid isn't a good idea either, because Iniesta works great at left wing. He's been arguably Barcelona's best player this season, especially when he's out on the left. He's been having great performances. But then obviously Neymar on the right, that's the worst. That's the worst position to put Neymar in. He would take playing on the left to playing on the right any day. So personally, I think that if you're Barcelona, you should stick with the 4-3-3 with the false 9. That's great. It's my favorite formation personally. But obviously it works for Barca. You're not gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna do 4-4-2 now. Like, obviously that's not gonna change. But look more towards the youth. Sergio Roberto, give him a few games. Look towards your youth academy. The players you have out on loan. Gerard Deulofeu, he's done great. Bojan, give him some more time. Those sorts of people, experiment. The three in the middle, I think, should be Busquets at holding mid. Busquets, like, I hate him. Like, I actually hate him. He is scum, but he is so good at football. Like, they need him. He's very important. So yeah, Busquets at holding. Then Xavi and Fabregas. Fabregas, sometimes plays at centre forward. He does well then. But, he's a terrific centre mid. Just have him there alongside Xavi. Be great. Have Iniesta on the left. He's the best at it in the Barcelona team at playing left wing. So put him there. On the right, you have, I think Pedro's had the best season out on the right. So put Pedro there. He's more productive than Neymar is out on the right. And then in the middle, decide between Messi and Neymar. If Messi's in good form, play him. He's the best player in the world. When he's like that. Personally, I do prefer Ronaldo though. But it's Messi. It's great. When he's not, when he's having moments like he is today, this season, when he's not really on it, try Neymar there. See how that works. If that doesn't work, put Sanchez there. And it's very unlikely that one of those three won't be producing the goods for Barcelona. And they can't buy anyone at the moment because of the transfer embargo, so they have to look towards the youth. And I think that's the only way that they can go forward. To take a serious look at themselves and say, look, we need to sort this out. We need to just look towards the youth again. play Bartra over Mascherano sometimes as well. Maybe get a young goalkeeper, give him a go. Better than Pinto. Pinto. No. And then do that, because otherwise, Barcelona are gonna get into some deep trouble if they keep going like this. Atletico are only gonna get stronger. I mean, Costa may very well leave this summer. He's Chelsea's primary transfer target. But, like, have you seen the strikers that Atletico have had over the years? Right? They had Aguero, they had Forlan, they had Torres back when Torres was sick. They had Falcao last season. And when Falcao left, everyone was like, "Wow, they're in trouble now." And then they go and make Diego Costa the best number 9 in the world. Right? So, or one of them. I don't know. Suarez is probably the best striker in the world. But, Diego Costa would be top 3. So, he went from really on no one's radar last season. I just thought he was decent, like a decent partner for Falcao. I didn't think he would be this good. So you think that Atletico are gonna have problems selling Diego Costa? Hell no, they'll get a more than good replacement. They know what they're doing. They should be more worried about if Simeone goes, but if it doesn't, Atletico are only gonna get stronger. Real are only gonna get stronger. They'll probably go for Suarez or Aguero or something, or Falcao. No, they'll bolster their squad. They'll get better. Barca can't buy anyone, so they have to look towards the youth. This is the only way, I think. And it's a shame because Barca deserve better. They do deserve better, but they have to take a good hard look at themselves, and not just sack the manager. Like, the manager is gonna get scapegoated for their poor season, no doubt in my mind. That's what will happen. But that's fine to scapegoat the manager for public saving face. They can place it all on the manager as the cause of their bad season. But what they can't do is believe that the reason why they're having a poor season is because of the manager. Because if they genuinely believe that that's the case, then the problems are only going to get worse, and then people will be like, wait, maybe it wasn't the manager. So if they sack the manager, but at the same time think, all right, we need to do something. We need to fix up, and then they go about those stages, involve more youth, solve the Messi Neymar dilemma, and do things like that. Then they will get through it, and they'll be able to be like, Tata, what a prick. Well, they can't do that as it stands. In terms of the final, it was a great final. I'm very happy for Bale. Bale's honestly like my favorite player now, and it pains me to say it because he was former Tottenham. But I love him. He seems like a very nice humble guy. And whenever you see him out on the pitch, you just want him to do well. Like, you can't be like, oh, I hate that Bale guy. He's such a nah. It's impossible. And I'm very happy for him yesterday. Like, I did predict that he would stand out, but of course, that doesn't necessarily always happen. I thought that Neymar would stand out in the Atletico Barca game in the Champions League. That was my prediction. I was like, yeah, Neymar to stand out and step up, and of course he didn't. And it doesn't make me happy when that happens. Bale, everyone expected him to do badly when he went to Madrid. Everyone thought, well, what's he gonna do? He's gonna be overshadowed by Ronaldo. And Bale has had an extraordinary season, really. Considering it's his first season and he has to play alongside Ronaldo, he isn't the star man like at Tottenham. He was Tottenham's Ronaldo in terms of they put all the focus on him. So Tottenham are obviously a much worse team than Madrid are. But Bale got I think like 20-something goals for Tottenham last season. He got many goals for Tottenham last season, but he got 4 assists. So he wasn't exactly the team player, and Villas-Boas probably didn't want him to be. He probably said, like, look, just give it to Bale and let him run, let him shoot, let him do what he wants. While now he's become a much more well-rounded player, I think. He works for the team more, and it shows. He's had 25 appearances for Madrid this season, 3 substitute appearances. I think this is in La Liga. and he's got 14 goals and 12 assists, which is really good. It's really good. Compare that with Neymar. I don't know how many appearances and how many assists he's had, but 9 goals. And because they signed someone that complements their team, Madrid, while Barcelona, I wouldn't say Neymar was a wrong signing, but I would say that he's been used incorrectly this season. And maybe, who knows, maybe he'll become the best left winger at some point, and I'll look like an idiot. But I think that he is someone who is being overshadowed by Messi. Not even necessarily in terms of how they play or talent, because Neymar is an incredible young talent. Right? Everyone's known that since he was 18. They've known that he has the potential to be one of the best. But overshadowed in terms of the image that Messi has, and the fact that managers just don't seem to have the balls nowadays to drop their big name players if they're not playing well, i.e. Moyes in the Champions League quarter-final against Bayern when Rooney was absolute poo and he didn't take him off. Stuff like that irritates me a lot. But again, I feel more sympathy for the Barca manager than I do for Moyes, because I think that the pressure is a lot more evident in Spain than it is in England. But yeah, basically, Copa del Rey final, you know, Barca, fix up, right? Madrid, well done, I love you, Hala Madrid. Like, I want Atletico to win the league, because that would be very interesting. But I'm happy. I'm happy for Bale, man. Bale, my boy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Carlo. Carlo, you know, there is blue in your blood. You know it. Alright? Blue until you die. And now you're wearing white now, but that's cool. You're still part of the Chelsea family. So I'm glad you're doing well, Carlo. I'm glad you're doing well. And I'm glad for Di Maria, man. Di Maria, people thought he was the side man of Real Madrid. They thought, why is he there? What's he doing? He's had an extraordinary season. Mesut, who? Oh, he's really good. And I feel happy for Modric as well. Modric has really stepped up this season. I hate Pepe. That's about it. Barca, man, just come on. Look towards the youth. Try to do something different. Because you're banned from transfers. You know, you're not gonna sign Aguero, so there's no point thinking about it anymore. Just try to hold on to Messi, I guess, and keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, that was it. A long one, but you know, the Copa del Rey final is just the Clasico. Is the biggest game in European football. Of course, I was going to talk about it. It's an extraordinary game. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully these subs people will be better at subbing, English subs, so I don't have to watch anime in Spanish to try and understand what's going on, because that will kill me. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you around.